Hey, what's up, y'all? And well, it's time to do another tier list. I already did my tier list for the SEC head coaches. So now I'm gonna go ahead and do one for the Big Ten head coaches. So here we go. All right, so there we go. We got the all the coaches here. So anyway, so you're going to start out with Brett Bielema. Yeah, Brett Bielema at Illinois. And I'm going to put him at C tier. Now he was at Wisconsin before. Yeah, did pretty good there, and then went to Arkansas when he enjoyed some success for the first couple of years, but then the wheels fell off and he got fired, and then and then now he's at Illinois, 5-7 for his first year at Illinois. So yes, that has earned him a C tier. So, and then next up, we do have Kurt Signetti at Indiana. This will be his first year at Indiana. Now, previously, he was the head coach of James Madison, and, and he was for the last 5 years, and he was really successful there too. He did make it to the FCS championship in his first year with with Mike Houston's players. Uh, but anyway, because James Madison actually won the FCS national championship with Mike Houston in 2016, who is now at East Carolina. So, I mean, he was, very successful at James Madison, but a lot, a lot of that was off of the coaches that came before, uh, who moved on to other jobs. But anyway, of course, an 11-win season last year in the Sun Belt with JMU, and now taking on his new job at trying to rebuild Indiana. So, well, trying to build Indiana. I don't know about rebuilding. Rebuilding implies that they were good before. So, um, but anyway, so now if Tom Allen was still at Indiana, I would have put him in D tier. But anyway, but the reason why I'm only putting him in C, well, I mean, he's going to have a lot of work to do at Indiana. So, and FCS or Group of Five success doesn't always translate into Power Five success, especially if you're stuck at a place like Indiana or Nebraska. But anyway, so let's just move on. Next, we do have Dan Lanning at Oregon. I am going to give him an A tier. Yeah, he's not quite an an S tier yet, but he is getting there. Yeah, he has been really good his first 2 years at Oregon. I think 10 games in 2022. Last year, 12-2. So falling just short of winning the Pac-12 and going to the playoffs. They did, of course, lose twice to Washington last year, but and and he's also been recruiting in the top 10. So right, so he's been been recruiting very well, which is very important. So anyways, up next we got David Braun, and I'm going to put him in B tier. Now he did do an incredible job with Northwestern in his first year, taking them to 7-5, 8-5 with a bowl win. Of course, in the previous year, Northwestern went 1-11 in the last year of Pat Fitzgerald. So we took a 1-win team and got them to 8 wins. Yeah, that is is really impressive. Yeah, a miracle, uh, basically. Uh, but anyway, I mean, he did a lot better than another uh coach, yeah, first year coach that who whose team had only won one game the year before. So anyway, let's see. Next up, we got this is Deshaun Foster um, at UCLA. This is his first year ever being a head coach, and last year he was the UCLA's running backs coach. Yeah, so he's been promoted to head coach after Chip Kelly left to be the offensive coordinator at Ohio State. So, but anyway, and I mean, I don't know how he's gonna do. I mean, it's too early to judge since this is his first year, and so not a whole lot of expectations. So I guess I'll put him at C tier. Uh, and next up we got Greg Schiano, and I'm going to give him a C tier. This is actually his second time at Rutgers. Of course, he was at Rutgers before in the 2000s. So until like 2011, that was back when Rutgers was in the Big East, and 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 it was a rough first few years, but in like his last 6 years, he did at Rutgers is a really decent, program, getting 8 or 9 wins every year. So, but and then he left to go to the try out the NFL, and that ended up not working out. So then he was, of course, an assistant, right, like an offensive coordinator at Ohio State for a few years before his return uh, to Rutgers. So, so he had built Rutgers into a decent program, and then right, yes, and then right after he left, the program fell apart. They've really been a train wreck since they joined the Big Ten, and now he's trying to put them back together. So, he's had a losing record all 3 of his first 3 years. Last year was his 4th year. Finally got to a winning record 7-6 with a bowl win. So, uh, so would have him in C tier for now. But if he can continue uh, to improve, Rutgers, they're doing a lot better than when he first got there. So then he could end up moving up into B tier next year. But anyway, let's see. Next up, we got um, James Franklin, and I am going to put him in A tier. Of course, remember when he won 9 games at Vandy in back-to-back years? Yeah, that was a miracle. But anyway, and then he's been really good at Penn State too, usually winning 10 or 11 games every year. Does have the Big Ten title from 2016, so been to a few New Year's Six bowls. So anyway, now next up we do have Jedd Fisch at Washington. Yeah, get first year at Washington. He was at Arizona last year, right? They were like, what were they like, 10-3? Yeah. So a pretty good year for Arizona. So I got him at B. We'll see how he does at Washington, but if he can continue the same success. But and now next up we got Jonathan Smith, and right here he is in Oregon State gear, but he is the new head coach of Michigan State. So of course he was really good at Oregon State. I mean, didn't like 2 years ago. He had a 10-win season at Oregon State, and I mean winning, and I mean 10 wins at Oregon State. I mean that's really hard to do. So we've seen what he's done at Oregon State, and yes. Anyway, so yeah, now moving on, we do have Kirk Ferentz at at Iowa, and yeah, he's been at Iowa for like 20 years or 25 years or whatever. And the coach before him, Hayden Fry, was at Iowa for like 40 years. Uh, but uh, anyway, I'm usually Iowa's pretty good. I mean, they're 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 never bad. But they're never really great either. So not a whole lot of talent that you can get at Iowa. But Kirk Ferentz gets the gets get gets the most out of the players that he does have. So, uh, but yes, 10-4 last year. But the problem is, uh, the last 2 years, yes, the defenses have been elite, but the problem is the offenses have been absolutely terrible. So, anyway, which is why he only gets a B tier for me. Maybe his style of coaching or his way of doing things. Like the game has like passed him by, basically. Yeah. Anyway, so now next up, we do have Lincoln Riley at USC, and again, I am only giving him an A tier. Um, yes, I am. I know that he's been to the playoffs a bunch of times. When he was at Oklahoma, like made the playoffs like 3 times, won uh the m- the Big 12 like 5 times or 4 times, or yeah, like 4 times, I think. Uh, but anyway, of course, 7-5 last year because he had no defense. His defenses have always been terrible, and last year it finally caught up to him. So with the 5 losses, so yes, he's had these was it 3 Heisman winning quarterbacks, but until he can figure out defense, uh, he's not getting into S tier. So a- anyway, yeah, he's never won a playoff game. So, but anyway, next up we do have Luke Fickle, and y- yeah, this might be a bit controversial here. Giving him B tier. Maybe I was thinking about giving him A tier for what he did at Cincinnati. Yeah, yeah, for making the 14 playoff that one year at Cincinnati. Uh, but instead of following Cincinnati into the Big 12, he decided to jump ship and head to Wisconsin. So of course, you saw how how bad Cincinnati was this year. Would they have been better if Fickle had stayed, probably, maybe they, maybe they make a bowl, maybe they go like 6-6, like UCF, but instead he's going 6-6 at Wisconsin in his first year. So, until I see him be successful at at Wisconsin, I'm going to keep him in B tier because Group of Five success does not always translate to Power Five success. So anyway, next up we do have Matt Rule at Nebraska, and I'm gonna say I'm giving him a B tier for what he did at Baylor, taking them from like one win his first year to like 7 wins, and then to like 11 wins. So, uh, but anyway, and then of course he was fired after his 2 years with the Panthers. Anyway, so now he ends up at Nebraska and going 5-7 last year. But I think he's going to do better this year. They got Dylan Rayola. So anyway, so next up we do have Mike Loxley. I'm also going to put him in B tier. Yeah, Mike Loxley at Maryland, who won 8-5 the last 2 years, 7 wins in 2021. So, and not including 2020, the last 3 years they were winning like 3 or 4 or 5 games. So Maryland is in a lot better shape uh, than they were when he got there. So giving him a B tier. And then next up we do have PJ Fleck at Minnesota, and I'm also going to be giving him uh, uh, a B tier. Yeah, he was at um, Western Michigan before. Did really good. Ended up being like the best. Made the New Year's Six Bowl as the best Group of Five team in his last year with Western Michigan, and then that got him his job at 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 Minnesota. It was a little rough at first, but then he did have like his breakout year in 2019 with the 11-2. So, but anyway, and then they've been pretty good since then. The last 2 years, 9 wins in 21 and 22. Last year, a down year with 6-7. But anyway, so he's gonna stay at B tier. Next up, we got Ryan Day at Ohio State, and he is going into S tier. Yeah, he's won the Big Ten twice. Mm, He's made the playoffs 3 times. He even won a playoff game in 2020 before losing to Alabama in that 2020 national championship. But anyway, so I know that we like to clown Ryan Day, for being, soft or whatever, or that, or losing 3 years in a row to Michigan. Well, now that Harbaugh's gone and Michigan's gonna be taking a step back this year. There's really no reason why Ohio State should lose to Michigan again. So, I mean, I mean, Ohio State is going to be the favorite to win the Big Ten this year. Uh, so, but anyway, next up we do have that's what's kind of what sets them apart. Uh, Lincoln Riley from Ryan Day's. At least Ryan Day has won a playoff game. At least Ryan Day's teams have put together some good defenses. You guess some really good defenses. Sometimes, uh, unlike Lincoln Riley. So, like Lincoln Riley, he also has the ability to bring in um, Heisman caliber quarterbacks. Not Heisman winning, but Heisman finalist. So and he's won the Big Ten twice. In the last 5 years, uh, Lincoln Riley hasn't won the Big Ten. So, well, he just got to the Big Ten, but anyway, do you think that Lincoln Riley is going to find that the Big Ten is not the Big 12 or the Pac 12? So, anyway, so next up we do have Ryan Walters at Purdue, and he gets a C tier. So this will be his second year at Purdue, right after Jeff Brom left to go to Louisville, and Purdue was terrible last year. They went 4-8. However, that that was his first year. That was his first head coaching experience. So I don't think I really want to put him in to put him in D tier after only 1 year. Now next year he will he'll if Purdue this year is terrible again, then then he might find himself in in D tier when we do this again next year. Anyway, he was a former defensive coordinator or safeties coach at Illinois. So, Illinois had an elite secondary. The his last year at Illinois. So, but anyway, so now next up we do have Sherrone Moore, and thought about giving him B tier. I think I'll leave him in C tier for now, since he is a first time head coach. But Sherrone Moore at Michigan, uh, and yes, he was on the Michigan staff. Yeah, he was like the defensive coordinator. Yeah, so he was on the national championship winning staff. So, uh, and he did do a a good job as the interim, right, beating Penn State and Ohio State, but being the head coach is a whole different animal. So we'll have to see how he does. But I don't think Michigan will be terrible. But and then he could end up climbing up to and he probably will end up climbing up to B tier uh, next year. But all right. But anyway, so yeah. All right. So that is gonna be it. So but anyway, so let me know what y'all think in the comments below. And thanks for watching, and I'll see y'all again next time.